The sled pull. This is a classic test of torque. That's because the weight box on each sled moves forward with distance. The farther you ride, the greater the friction with the ground, until even the most powerful engine calls it quits. Last year, the Outlander 400 far outpulled the Honda Rancher and came within a nose of the larger Yamaha Kodiak 450, while the Outlander 800 blew away the Polaris Sportsman 800 and the Kawasaki Brute Force 750. Now, the newest Outlander models are set to meet their top rivals. All quads are stock models to ensure fairness, and an independent judge has verified that each has the same total weight and pulls the same sled with the same professional driver. The 500 class is off first. It's the Polaris Sportsman 500 EFI and Suzuki Vincent 500. Giving it all they've got, they both muscle past the 160-foot mark before coming to a stop. Let's see if the Can-Am Outlander 500 is up to the task. Starts off strong. The Can-Am roars down the line and blows past the 200-foot mark. It finally comes to a stop nearly 40 feet farther than its nearest competitor. Now we'll bring in the heavyweights. The Honda Rincon 680 and the Kawasaki Brute Force 650 square off against the sled. As the weight box slides, the Honda falls off at around 180 feet, while the Kawasaki pulls to a respectable 209. It's a tough mark to beat, but let's see how the Can-Am Outlander 650 fares. The Outlander crushes Honda's mark. It quickly pulls past the Kawasaki's limit, incredibly going another 40 feet for a best-of-class finish. The Outlander 650 clearly out-torqued the competition. And the Can-Am Outlander 500 not only won its class, it even outpulled the other big quads. Championship torque starts with the high-output Rotax engines. Each of these V-twin EFIs is the most powerful production engine ever made for its class. Each channels its massive output through a 6-arm CVT transmission, designed to crank out the industry's highest power throughout the RPM range.
These are the most powerful ATVs in the marketplace.
Far more horsepower than any other 4x4 ATV out there.
That thing has got some serious pep.
It's torquey too, meaning it barks, you know, kind of when you need it to bark, and also has that low end grunt.
Oh, it's got more than enough torque to get you up over the rocks.
Model by model, class by class, they exceed the performance of all competing brands.
The Mud Run. This pit is as thick as Texas gumbo, and it's going to take a lot of 4x4 muscle to get through. Both the Polaris Sportsman and Suzuki Vincent square off against the mud. It's hard for these quads to hold their line in this stuff. At 115 feet, the Suzuki loses momentum, while the Polaris makes it to just over 145 feet. Now the Can-Am Outlander 500 gets its turn. Digging in deep, the Can-Am powers through. It turns the challenge into a game of inches. Nearing the end of the line before succumbing to the mud, the Polaris noses the Outlander by a muddy 3 inches. In the next class, we've got the Kawasaki Brute Force and the Honda Rincon. With greater horsepower, these guys get off the line quick. Doesn't take long for the Honda to run into trouble. Even with a 680, it sinks in at just over 120 feet, while the Kawasaki makes it to about 145. Now it's the Can-Am Outlander 650's turn. Even this traction-sucking mud is no match for the 650. It powers through to the event's first and only full run. Results are certified by an independent observer, and they speak for themselves. Innovations don't stop there. To take on these sharp turns, each Can-Am is also built with a surrounding spar technology frame, or SST. The design allows for a lower engine layout and low center of gravity.
The engine is low in the chassis. We brought the fuel tank down low. So when you come around the corner, everything tucked down, you get a great cornering button. Now if you look at the Polaris, as it comes out of the corner, you see a little air underneath the tires.
Giant slalom. The bumps and tight turns on this course are designed to push handling and performance to the limit. We'll see how each of these ATVs fare in terms of cornering, stability, and steering. The same professional driver will try to hold a line through these turns without sacrificing his pace. As the Kawasaki runs the course, it comes across some heavy terrain. Its rear suspension tries to keep the machine under control, but the bumps cause the back wheels to move sideways in a butterfly motion.
As those tires are moving up and down, the back of the bike is really steering you, and you're unable to stay straight.
This action, called scrub, can make an ATV uncomfortable and harder to control. We can see as the Honda fights the driver. The Outlander is different. Its trailing torsional independent suspension, or TTI, smooths out bumps and further minimizes body roll. Since its pivot points are ahead of the wheels travel vertically only, never in and out. That means constant straight-ahead travel for a much smoother ride. It's so effective, Dirt Wheels magazine called TTI the best performing suspension on an ATV. The Outlander's unique front geometry is a major advance over the competition too, one designed to vastly reduce bump steer.
When you're out on the trail with your ATV and you hit those bumps, you hit those rolling bumps, as the front end moves through its travel, your tires are going to move and it's going to have your bike wandering.
In dealing with bump steer, the difference between Can-Am Outlander and other top quads is dramatic.
It's a sophisticated high-performance platform, and it's very unique.
The drag race. Last year, it was Outlander 400 and 800 that swept the field in this dirt strip. Now it's 500 and 650 class Outlanders that get their chance. It's 250 yards from chalk to chalk. The racers are all pros and the quads are all stock. The 500 class is up first. On the right, the Can-Am Outlander. In the center, the Polaris Sportsman. In the left lane, the Suzuki Vincent. Racing scenes photographed during an organized race involving highly skilled operators under controlled conditions. Do not attempt. It's go time. They explode off the line. The Outlander continues to pull away and smokes the Suzuki and Polaris. No photo finish there. Now for the big power show. The Honda Rincon, Kawasaki Brute Force, and Can-Am Outlander line up.
Riders, take your mark.
Green light. The Outlander quickly separates, leaving dust between it and the others. Let's look at it again from the Honda's point of view. No contest. Now, just for grins, let's see how the Outlander 500 runs up against the bigger bore Honda Rincon 680. The Honda has it off the line. However, with more horsepower, the Outlander 500 shoots past the Honda. It overpowers the bigger bore at the finish line. Across the board, Can-Am outperforms every other competitor. Fast, furious, and hard-stopping, cross-country is for serious riders, and the showdowns are classic. The Can-Am racing team of Mike Penland, Scott Kilby, Cliff Beasley, Brock Parker, and Mike Swift have over 200 GNCC wins between them.
The horsepower and torque on this thing is just awesome. Sometimes I feel like it's got a V8 under the hood.
My biggest problem right now is teaching the old dog new tricks. It's really fun. Lots and lots of horsepower.
You need to have the power to get out front.
Some bikes, you nail them, and you have to kind of wait.
The Can-Am power is a lot different because whenever you push the throttle, it's there instantly.
There's no hesitation.
You can really feel it in the seat of your pants. Low center of gravity really helps you corner.
The other guys are having to slow down into the rough sections to make sure they don't wreck. We can get power through them and be able to control the bike.
This bike is everything that I want.
Everything was in one package.
The power and suspension do real well, handles real well, so it's a good combination.
I can outhand.
I can corner.
I can leave them in the dust.
I can win.
Can-Am. Can you?
Can you?
Can you?